All right, Steve, how do you feel about the workouts that you went through today? How do you feel you performed?
I think I did well. There's always a little room for improvement. I feel like I had a little more left, but overall, I think I did pretty well.
I'm sure you've been to some of these pro days in the past, watched some of your other teammates. All 32 teams, CFL team. What does it kind of say about how far you guys kind of brought the program in?
Yeah, we came off an incredible season. We have a lot of good players, but let alone we have a lot of good guys too. So I feel like that's one thing that separates us from a lot of the other teams. So it's nice to know that we've been a part of one of the biggest seasons here. So
Go ahead, Jamie.
You were part of the Senior Bowl, into the NFL Combine. Now you've been prepping for Pro Day. What have you heard from teams throughout that process, and what have you learned about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I guess learning about myself, the transition from being a college athlete to now seeing this as a professional business has been sort of tough for me because I'm so used to, being for the team, and which you can be for a team when you're in the NFL, but everything is now you're by yourself. You had a lot of different leaders on the team. So, yeah.
You've played center, guard, tackle. What have teams told you about what they like about your versatility?
Yeah, man. I feel like every team loves, versatility. And that's just what I wanted to showcase when I was at the Senior Bowl. I want to show that I can do it all, so teams can know that they can rely on me in different situations. So hopefully that's what I bring to the table, and hopefully that's what teams will value from me.
Do you have an ideal position that if you had your pick where you play?
Not really, but there are some teams that smack the table and be like, you get to choose one, what are you picking? And for now, I guess right now in this instance, I always say left guard, only because I'm coming off of a season where I've had the best season of my career, got all these accolades, and I'm not taking away from my ability to play center because I know I can do that. I did at the Senior Bowl, but as for right now, I would say left guard.
Yeah, John Lance mentioned COVID year. You had COVID, came back and played right tackle 4 days later. What was that like?
So it was actually two. I came back on a Thursday,
yeah.
And my right tackle, Andrew Coker, had COVID. Well, first, let me backpedal. I came off, I was like, oh, okay, I might not play. And then I get a call, it's like, hey, he has COVID, you got to play. And I was like, who? He was like, Andrew. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to play right tackle.
Okay.
But being a freshman here, I played right tackle coming in, so that's something that I just tapped back into, and I'm glad that I did it. I feel like I played a pretty good game there. So
that was what, your sophomore year?
That was my redshirt freshman year. Yeah, redshirt freshman year. So I'm glad I did that.
So you've never played left tackle?
I've never played left tackle.
You played everything else
but started at left tackle. Yeah, I feel like I can do that. I feel like when you get a feeling of playing guard, you can play tackle as well. It's just the angles that can really change.
We've seen a little bit about your conversations with the Cowboys. That obviously would be a fun place for you to play since you're a local guy. But talk a little bit about what teams you've been hearing from, or what the conversations have been like.
Yeah, so I have about 5:30 visits. I'm meeting with the Cowboys, Washington, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Arizona. So those are really the teams that I would say are showing interest right now. I've been having a few meetings with a couple other teams, but as for now, those are the ones that I can point out.
What has the feedback been like?
Yeah, for me and myself, if I were to analyze, I feel like I'm a great person, and I've tried to show that with every team. I'm smart on the field, smart off the field as well. So these are the things that I try to point out with teams, and I feel like I've left a good impression on them. So.
What was it like to see Max and Q out there one more time?
Man, it was amazing, man. It's hard for me to grasp what type of season we had, and to grasp that, I no longer play for TCU. Like, when people ask me, they're like, oh, did you play? I was like, I did at TCU, but it's nice. I know they'll always be around. They've definitely opened up an environment where players can come back and enjoy, being around. So hopefully, I'll be seeing them in the NFL. If not, I'll still be seeing them anyways. We've definitely created a bond here. So,
what's your plans for the draft? Where are you gonna be?
So funny how I just said that. I'm actually having it here, up in the Legends Club. So it'll be nice. I've always envisioned having everybody that helped me, get to where I am there. So it's nice that I get to do that.